Hi, John Carter here. This economy is crazy. It seems that the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer, and no one in our government, our representative government, is doing anything about it. So I've decided to make this short video clip as phase one, as part one, to give you an idea of what you can do to get out of a bad economic situation. If your credit is poor, your credit is bad, it's an excellent way to build the best credit in the world is bank credit. If you want to get a franchise or you have a business venture that you want to get into as an entrepreneur, this is a great way to raise the capital for it. Many of us, the only way we can get money is to go to friends, family, or we go to a bank. But if your credit isn't strong enough, friends and family is all that you have, and sometimes they don't have it either. So I'm going to take 4 to 5 minutes of your time and just show you the first part of doing this. When you control what goes into a man's hands, you control the man. So when it comes to your money, the best way to earn wealth is to keep your money in your own hands and deal with it yourself. And I'm going to show you some ways to do that. Now, when you go to build your credit, the best way to start off is in a savings account. And you say, well, I don't have the money to start a savings. Well, actually you can, because if you get a tax return and earn income credit, you'll probably get somewhere between $3,000 to $7,000 or $8,000 every year. So if there's no other way that you can get that money, that's one way or a place that you can get it, a resource is a tax return. If you're working a job, you can save the money, and you'll need about $5,000 to make this work well. You can do it with a little less, but about $5,000 is an optimal amount of money, and I'm going to show you how to do it. To build your credit, and then to build a large line of credit at the same time, you'll need to open up a savings account. However, don't let the bank give you the passbook savings. That's the thing that they commonly want to do. There's also a savings account called a same-day deposit, same-day withdrawal. The difference between the two is that a passbook savings, if you borrow money against that savings, you have to pay all the money back before you can take any money out. However, in a same-day deposit, same-day withdrawal account, as you pay the money back, whatever amount that you make a payment to or that you pay on becomes available to you in that savings account. So when you go to the bank, you want to ask for a savings account to open it up, but you want to make a same-day deposit, same-day withdrawal type savings, not a passbook savings. Then the next thing you want to do as we get down the line, but I'll explain it to you now, is that you want to go to a credit union and you want to open up a reserve checking account with a compensating balance of 10%. And I'm going to show you how to get to that. And then that's where we'll end this particular segment. So you need to open up a savings account, same day deposit, same day withdrawal. Most major banks have that. And then a credit union will have an account which is a reserve checking, and you want to ask for a compensating balance of 10%. The reason you want to go to the credit union for this last part that we do is because the credit union rules are a little more lenient than the bank. It's not as stringent. So they'll have different types of accounts that you can open that the bank probably will not offer you if you don't already have strong credit. So here's how this is going to work. These are just suggestive banks. Don't necessarily have to go to these banks. I know that in the Midwest, in states like Nebraska, there is no Chase Bank, but whatever bank's in your area, if it's a large enough bank, a state bank or a national bank, it'll work. So say, for example, you have $5,000 and you want to start building your credit, and you want to build a line of credit with $5,000 at the same time. So what you'll do, you'll go to Chase and you will tell them that you want to open up a same-day deposit, same-day withdrawal savings account for $500. I'm sorry, for $5,000. Chase will give you that account, and then you'll wait 1 week, and you'll go back and you'll tell the banker, hey, I would like to build my credit, and I would like to borrow against my savings account to do it. Now you're using the best collateral in the world, cash, because you're going to use your savings to borrow the money that you want. So if you don't pay the money back, the bank already has it. So they won't even pull a credit report. So you'll go in, make the application, borrow the $5,000 against your savings, and you'll take that $5,000 that you borrow and take it to another bank, let's say Wells Fargo. and you'll deposit the $5,000 that you borrowed into the Wells Fargo account. Same thing. You wait a week, and then you go to Wells Fargo and you tell them, I would like to build my credit, but I want to use my savings. I want to borrow against my savings to do it. Same thing. You're using the best collateral in the world, cash. So they're going to give you the money. They're not going to pull a credit report. So then you'll go to Bank of America, and you'll do the same thing over there. You'll put the $5,000 that you got into Bank of America. You'll wait a week, and you'll go back and you'll borrow against that savings account, and you'll take that $5,000. But this time, for the fourth time, you're going to take the money to a credit union, and you're going to open up a reserve checking account with a compensating balance of 10%. So that $5,000 is going to go into a reserve checking account with a compensating balance. Now here's the difference. The savings account that the banks give you is going to pay you a little bit of interest, maybe 1%. It's not going to be very much. The reserve checking account, however, is also going to be an interest-bearing account. The reason that you want that is because the interest that you're going to gain or have to pay for borrowing against these accounts is going to be offset by the interest that the credit union account is paying you for having that particular checking account. So here's how it works. By the time you get to this credit union account, you're going to be in week 4. This is the first week, second week, third week. The fourth week, you're going to do the credit union account. By that time, the very first payment is going to be due at Chase or whichever bank it is. Now, for simplicity and for brevity, I'm going to use some larger numbers to say that we know what we're going to be paying these out. It may not be that much, but you will definitely get the idea. But anyway, when you go to the credit union and open that reserve checking account, they're going to give you a checkbook, and that checkbook is going to allow you to write checks just like you would for anything else, except that it's a reserve checking account with a compensated balance of 10%. So the first payment you're going to make to Chase, let's say it's going to be $200. And the next week you'll make a $200 payment to Wells Fargo, and then you'll also make a $200 payment to Bank of America. I suggest that you make the payments all in the same week to keep things simple. Let's say on the first of the month you make $200 to Chase, $200 to Wells Fargo, $200 to B of A. That's $600 you paid out. 2 weeks later, what you want to do, you want to prepay the principal on a separate check. You want to prepay the principal for the next month. So if these payments are being made in August, you want to go on August 15th and make another $200 payment for September. So you want to make $200 payments toward the principal on these balances for September. Now the reason you want to do that is because the banks gain money on the theory of compound interest. But the bank can't charge you interest on money that you haven't used for 30 days. The interest has to accrue for 30 days. So by you prepaying the principal in the middle of the month or prepaying the principal for the next month's payment, you'll save on the interest because they can't charge you interest because you haven't used money for 30 days. So that's how you will save or reduce the interest that you'll owe on these 3 borrowed amounts, and not have to come out of pocket paying for something that this credit union account won't cover. Now here's the other beautiful part about this. Because these are same day deposit, same day withdrawal accounts, you're going to do this every 2 weeks. So then you're going to make another $200 payment here, another $200 payment here and here. And so let's say you go and you made $400 payments to each one of these. So if I have $400 paid back here and $400 paid back here and $400 paid back here, that's $1,200 that's out of this account. So this $5,000 minus $1,200 is going down. However, you say, but if you keep doing that, John, pretty soon you're going to run out of money. In theory, you would, but you actually won't, because this is the same day deposit, same day withdrawal savings account. This $400 that you have out of this account and $400 out of here and $400 here, you just go withdraw the money from those accounts and you put it into the credit union account, and the same original balance that you started with will just move from here, 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 and be put into the credit union account. Here's the beauty of this. You started out with $5,000 and you borrowed $5,000 here, $5,000 here. But how much money do you have out right now? You have $15,000 out that you're paying back at the same time with just your initial $5,000, which is in the credit union account. So what happens is that eventually you pay all of these balances down. With these banks, it's going to be zero. Eventually, this is going to be a zero balance here, a zero balance here, and a zero balance here. The reason that you're double paying, or that you're prepaying the principal and then you're making the regular monthly payment, is because banks will start rating your credit score, or start recording your credit score after 6 payments. Not 6 months, but 6 payments. The reason it takes 6 months to get your credit established is because we're taught to pay monthly. But if you pay bi-weekly or make bi-weekly payments after your 6th payment toward that bill, the bank starts reporting to the credit bureau. So that starts building your credit a lot faster. It builds it in half the time. So when you get to zero balances here, your original $5,000 that you started with is now in your credit union account. You haven't lost anything. There's your original $5,000 that you started here with, you borrowed against here with, you borrowed against here with, you borrowed against. Now it's down here in that credit union account. So here's what you do. Next time you go to ask the bank now to borrow $15,000 as a signature loan. Now the reason you want to borrow an amount like that, because if you go and ask them to borrow $5,000 or $6,000, the bank is going to tell you, we have a credit card application, you can apply for a credit card. So you want to apply for $15,000. You want to make the applications on the same day because you want to be honest about everything. If the bank says, do you have any other outstanding loans? No, because you actually don't. You have applications. So you'll make a $15,000 application. Now, here's the beauty. Because you paid these banks and you paid them on time and then you double paid, you've built credit with each one of these banks. So when you make your credit applications, you use each one of these banks as a reference to the other. So you use this bank, apply for the $15,000 at Chase, use Wells Fargo and Bank of America as banking references. You apply Wells Fargo, use Chase and Bank of America as banking references, and so on. So you also have a great credit history or payment history with those two banks. So you're going to get the money. So what happens is that you got $15,000 from each bank. You take that $15,000 and you take it over to the credit union, and that's $45,000 that you'll have that you're going to put into the credit union account. You're going to use the same principle all over again, except that now you want to activate, or you want to exercise your reserve checking with the compensating balance of 10%. So what the credit union is going to do, they're going to have you to sign an affidavit that, hey, we'll give you this line of credit so long as you never let this balance fall below $45,000. That $45,000 is going to represent 10% of the compensating balance. So you will have a line of credit of $450,000 with the credit union. So they're going to give you a checkbook. You can write and buy anything you want, so long as it doesn't exceed $450,000. So you wonder how people get money to buy franchises, to invest in real estate and invest in their businesses and do all these other things. It isn't because they wake up one morning and they win the lottery, or somebody dies and leaves them some money. That happens too. It is because they worked real hard and they earned the money and then put it in their pocket and stuck it in the mattress. Yeah, that happens, but not for most of us. This is the way that most people get their money to invest in their businesses. However, it takes extreme discipline. You cannot spend the money to go to Disneyland. You cannot spend the money to just go buy a new car. You cannot spend the money to go on vacation or buy a bunch of new stuff and wear your money. The problem with a lot of people, we drive our money, we wear our money, we eat our money, we don't invest our money. This is a way that you gain wealth by using other people's money. That is what this principle is. So in this, you have built excellent credit. You have a $450,000 line of credit, which is real money, because they're going to give you a checkbook that you can write checks and use this. And all of this is real. Now, there's a way that you can pay on this money, which will be in phase 2, and pay all of your utility bills, all of your bills, using the money from your paycheck, and pay this money back at the same time. That'll be part 2. I'll come back and show you that in about a week. If you want more information about this, inbox me and I'll be happy to talk to you about it and send you some more information.